suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by locally owned Brookings PowerQuest. Located in the University Mall at 820 22nd Avenue South, you can find everything your ride needs. From essential auto parts to top-notch accessories and customer service, PowerQuest is a one-stop shop for Brookings. Their phone number is 692-6298. PowerQuest is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/olderadults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by D.O. Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brookings, South Dakota, D.O. is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trek and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. D.O. is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome into First Bank and Trust Arena. I'm Ben Anderson. Braden Byers with me, but in spirit. He's in the studio today, and we are in First Bank and Trust. We're going to be watching some Jackrabbit volleyball today, and excellent sport to be watching here tonight, as your Jackrabbits are 14-0, undefeated, and 3-0 in the conference, but a big game tonight going up against Omaha, and Omaha is going to be undefeated in the conference as well. They're 3-0, excuse me, but they're not so successful non-conference. Overall, Omaha volleyball is they're 5-9, so they haven't had much success non-conference for the Mavericks, but we'll have a good game nonetheless. And it only takes one game to break the Jackrabbit undefeated streak. So this one's still important for the Rabbits. So right now we're getting the hype video. You know, all the lights go blue here in First Bank and Trust. And the updates and construction have brought the production value up a little bit for us here. And we're waiting for your Jackrabbit starting lineups. Now, we expect to see some big things here. We expect to see Sydney Shetland hitting that in the starting lineup here. She's nationally ranked in hitting percentage here, as well as Madison Burr. She's the top freshman nationally ranked in blocks per set with 1.42. So an excellent team here for the Jackrabbits. It's been exciting watching them here in this first game we had home at First Bank and Trust Arena, where the Jackrabbits were able to sweep the Roos 3-0 sets. And now let's see if we can have a little bit of that luck stick around and the Jackrabbits get a win tonight. It's pink night in First Bank and Trust Arena, Breast Cancer Awareness Night, so the Jackrabbits are wearing pink uniforms, except for Jocelyn Richardson, of course, and Leah Schlingen. They're the liberos for the Jackrabbits are wearing blue. So here's our starting lineups. Megan Rottenkamp, of course. Riley Martin, she has 21 aces this season. Madison Burr, of course, previously mentioned, middle blocker. She's 6'1" and a freshman. Sylvie Zonks, an outside hitter. She's 5'11", also nationally ranked for the Jackrabbits. Sydney Shetnin, of course, a featured player on this team, nationally ranked. She's a middle blocker. Number 16, Katie Van Igdam coming in as well. She had a lot of kills last game here in Frost Arena. Of course, our libero, Jocelyn Richardson, number 17. And our alternate libero, Aaliyah Schlingen. Dan Georgalis, the head coach for the Jackrabbits. And of course, Matt Buttermore, head coach for the Mavericks. So let's get this started already. I'm excited for some Jackrabbit volleyball here on Collegian Sports. Set number 1 gets put up on the brand new scoreboard. 2 timeouts allotted to each team and the starting lineups out on the court. Pre-game rituals getting underway here. It's important to stay in the groove, especially when you're 14-0 like the Jackrabbits. Got to keep everything the same, maintain that undefeated record. Ivy Luck back to serve for the Mavericks. Comes across the net to middle. Dug up by the Jackrabbits. Riley Martin sets up Zonks, who gets a kill. The Jackrabbits on the board first. Sylvie Zonks with the kill, assisted by Riley Martin. And it is Martin who's back to serve for the Jackrabbits. Martin served to the middle of the court, dug up by the Mavericks and sent back over. It's Martin who gets a hand on it first. Zonks again tries for the kill, but that flies to the back left corner out of bounds. The Jackrabbits are nearest to me. The Mavericks are on the opposite side of the court. So tied up 1-1 in the first set. Sarah Galligan to serve. Galligan serve to Jocelyn Richardson, the libero. Sets up Zonks, who gets another kill. Zonks is on the board both times for the Jackrabbits. It's Zonks to serve. The Mavericks are all over it. Allie, the libero, digs that one up for the Jackrabbits. The Mavericks are back on the offensive, blocked up front by Shetnin. Jackrabbits now trying to put something together. It's Shetnin who sends a spike over. The Mavericks are all over it. The Mavericks now trying, and that one's touched by Zonks before going out of bounds. So we maintain the tied score. It's 2-2 in set number 1. Kennedy Shecker, the libero for the Mavericks, back to serve. Shecker's serve is to Richardson. Richardson gets it to Shetton, who tips it over, and it hits the court. So point for the Jackrabbits. 3-2 is the score. On the serve for the Jackrabbits, number 17, Jocelyn Richardson. Richardson serve over the net. Mavericks dig it up. Send a spike off the tip of the block out of bounds. So point for Omaha, and that's 3-3. Callie Juergensmeyer back to serve for the Mavericks. Sends that one. It had some spin on it, but the Jackrabbits are able to get a hand on it, and that's Madison Burr with the kill. Short tip over for Burr gives the Jackrabbits the lead of 1. It's 4-3. Cameron Hahn back to serve for the Jacks. Hahn's serve looked like it might have gone out of bounds, but the Mavericks are playing it. They send it back to the Jackrabbit end, so the Jackrabbits are trying for something. Van Igdam gets it over, and the Mavericks are not in the right place. So point for the Jackrabbits, 5-3. They're up by 2 in the first set. So Hahn once again to serve. Hahn serve, low over the net. The Mavericks set something up, and it's Ali Schieglin who's able to dig it up for the Jackrabbits. That one was on the line. The point awarded to Omaha, so they're going to say that one remained in bounds. Jackrabbits playing it as they thought it was out of bounds. Was on the line, so point for Omaha, 5-4. Omaha sends it over. Jackrabbits are there to dig it up. Van Igdam sends it to the back. Looked like it was going out of bounds, but touched by the Mavericks. Zonks setting up. Burr gets blocked up front by McKenna Rutsch. So tying it up at 5-5. Omaha scores that one. McCormick to serve for the Mavericks. Zonks bumped that one a little wonky, and that one flew out of bounds. So Mavericks going to take a lead of 1. It's 5-6. Jackrabbits down. Again, Shayla McCormick. Van Igdam bumped that one, and again, McKenna Rutsch up front, tips it down, and the Jackrabbits aren't ready for it. It came too quick. 5-7. The Jacks down by 2 in the first. McCormick's serve is over the net. The Jackrabbits setting up Van Igdam for the spike. So there's going to be a foul on Omaha. Potentially a net violator. So Jack point. Rachel Weber to serve. Mavericks able to set it up and blocked up front by Zonks. Point for the Jackrabbits, leaves it to 7 all. And Weber once again to serve. Weber's serve dug up by Omaha. The Jacks aren't ready for it, so 7-8. Jackrabbits down by 1. Omaha on the serve. Jackrabbits all over it. Sending the spike, Sylvie Zonks. Omaha digs it up, and send a spike of their own. Richardson can't get there in time. It hits the court, and it's 7-9. Jackrabbits down by 2. That one went right through the block and out of the way of Jocelyn Richardson. Jack's not able to return it. Service error from McKenna Rutsch. Point for the Jackrabbits. It's 8-9. Can I say something? Omaha, I don't know what's up. They got some crazy names. Hard to pronounce, and I'm going to make a mistake at least 50 times tonight. So we're gonna gloss over that. I'm apologizing in advance. So the Jacks not able to get on that one, so Omaha is going to get the point. It's 10-8. The Jackrabbits are down by 2. Ivy Luck to serve for Omaha. That one goes out of bounds, so service error on Omaha. Jackrabbits get the point. It's 9-10. Jacks down by 1 in the first set. Substitutions are made, and Riley Martin is going to serve it for the Jacks. Omaha all over it, but look out. It's Alyssa Groves with the block. Point for the Jackrabbits, 10-all. Alyssa Groves able to jump up and get in the way of that one. Groves is 6'4". Riley Martin on the serve. Dug up by Omaha. Omaha sends a spike, and it's Groves again with the block. (11-10). Jacks take a lead of 1. Served by Martin. And Omaha sends the heat. Martin not able to set that one up. It flies down to the court. 11-all. Omaha sends it over. There's a little collision on the Jackrabbit side, and it's tipped out of bounds by Zonks. Shetton and Groves got into a little bit of trouble near the net and ran into each other. Zonks back to serve for the Jacks. Dug up by Omaha, send the spike. Riley Martin on the dig. Shingling gets it to Van Igdam, who sends down the spike. Jackrabbit point, 13-11. Jacks up by 2. Zonks back to serve. Over the net. Omaha sets up. That one sent wild by Zonks. Riley Martin able to get there and bump it up. Zonks able to bump it over the net high. It gives Omaha a perfect chance to set up what they just did. Spike it down on the Jackrabbits, and they're not able to send it in the right direction. So point for Omaha, 13-12. Jacks up by 1. Shecker back to serve for Omaha. Dug up by Van Igdam. Groves tried to spike it over. She got blocked, able to recover on that. Richardson just going to set it over, and Richardson couldn't dig it after the spike. He was too close to the ground, not able to dive for that one. 13-all, set number 1. Kennedy Shecker back to serve for Omaha. Sent it to Zonks. Martin sets up Van Igdam. Spiking, gets blocked on the Omaha end. They return it to the Jackrabbit territory. Groves just going to tip it over the block, and Omaha able to recover on that one. Martin sets up Van Igdam. Van Igdam spikes it over, dug up by Omaha. Omaha gonna send a spike of their own. Richardson not able to dig that one. Omaha takes an advantage of 1 point. It's 13-14. Shecker, service error into the net. 14 all. Richardson is gonna serve it now. The libero for the Jackrabbits. Madison Burr's now in the game for the Jacks. Omaha running into some trouble, and that's gonna be 4 hits, so point for the Jackrabbits. Little bit of a miscommunication there by Omaha leads them to forced to take 4 hits and an error. 15-14 the score. Richardson on the serve. Omaha sets up the spike, and they lay it down in front of Riley Martin. 15 all. The Jackrabbits definitely have their work cut out for themselves in this one. Julie Owens to serve for the Mavericks. Richardson on the dig. Riley Martin setting up Groves with the spike and the point. Kill by Alyssa Groves. Brings the score to 16-15. Jackrabbits up by 1. Cameron Hahn to serve. Hahn serve. High over the net, but not long. And Omaha's bump flies out of bounds in the wrong direction. So 17-15, Jackrabbits up by 2. Hahn once again to serve. Hahn sends this one to the back right corner. Omaha gets there, sends it down in front of Schemling. And Zonk's able to bump it over. Omaha setting up something now. They tip it across the net, and no Jackrabbits in the area. Point for the Mavericks. McCormick to serve for the Mavericks. Service error, barely out of bounds, but called that way. 18-16, Jackrabbit scored the last. Rachel Weber to serve for the ladies in pink. Weber's serve is good to the back left corner. The Jackrabbits tried to block Zonks and Burr in the area, but the ball ends up on the Jackrabbits side of the net and drops to the court. 18-17 the score. Jacks maintain a lead of 1, but the Omaha is on the serve. McKenna Rutsch to serve. Sends it towards Zonks. Sets it up for Madison Burr, who tips it over the net. Omaha able to dig it, send a spike way long outside the court, out of bounds. Point for the Jacks. 19-17, Jacks up by 2. And as you heard, it's number 8, Madison Burr to serve. Service error, almost wanted to go over the net, got caught up on the top and dropped on the Jackrabbit side. So service error for Burr. 19-18, Jacks up by 1. And it's Ivy Luck for the Mavericks to serve. That one also close, but out of bounds. A service error called, and the Jacks get that point. 20-18. Jacks up by 2. Need 5 more to win the set. Riley Martin to serve. She has 21 aces this season. Martin sends it. This one's dug up by the Mavericks, and a block. Again, a combined block by Shetton and Groves. And a point. 21-18, and a timeout is taken. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Collegian Sports.
So what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Support comes from the South Dakota Agricultural Heritage Museum in Brookings, inspiring a passion for the diverse history, culture, and science of agriculture in South Dakota. To learn more about exhibits and events, you can visit agmuseum.com.
Welcome back to First Bank & Trust Arena. This is Collegian Sports. I'm Ben Anderson. Braden Byers joining me back in the studio. Jackrabbit Volleyball here. It's the first set. 21-18 is the score. Jackrabbits on the serve. It's Riley Martin. And a block set down by Groves and Shetton again. Point for the Jacks. 22-18. Need 3 to win the set. Martin on the serve. Omaha digs it up, sends it over, way long. Point, Jacks. 23-18, up by 5. Need 2 to win number 1. And the Mavericks take another timeout. So let's look at some of the stats we have here going in the first set. So for Omaha, we'll start it off on that side. Number 3, Callie Jurgensmeyer. She has 5 kills tonight, a hitting percentage of .625. She has 2 digs as well. McKenna Rutch, she has 4 kills and 1 block and a hitting percentage of .5 or 500 if that's how you prefer it. On the Jackrabbit end, it's been a little bit more evened out. Seeing some more players get their opportunities tonight, but still, it's Zonks on top. She has 3 kills tonight, hitting percentage of .400, 1 dig, 1 block. Van Igdam, she has 3 kills as well, and a hitting percentage of .375. Alyssa Groves, who we've mentioned quite a bit here, she has 2 kills and as well as an impressive 3 blocks. Timeout ends. Riley Martin out to serve for the Jackrabbits. They need 2 to win the set. Martin serve. A little bit of a problem there digging that one up, but they do. Rachel Weber able to set up Zonks, who tries to lay it down. She hits the block, and it flies out of bounds on the blocker's tip. The Jackrabbits are on match point. It's 24-18. Excuse me, not match point. It's set point. Set number 1, 24-18. Martin on the serve. Down for the Mavericks. I don't know how they dug that one up. Schlingen able to get it back into Maverick territory. They're hustling, send a spike towards Riley Martin. She digs it up. Schlingen sets up Zonks for the spike, down between the block. The Jackrabbits win set number 1 on an excellent spike through the block by Sylvie Zonks. Set number 1 goes the Jackrabbits' way. A 3-minute intermission timer put up on the board. We'll be right back for set number 2. You're listening to Jackrabbit Volleyball on Collegiate Sports.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back into First Bank and Trust Arena. You were listening to Jackrabbit Volleyball here on Collegiate Sports. I'm Ben Anderson, and of course, Braden Byers is back in the studio. Jackrabbits won set number 1. They're going to take the lead 1-0, and set number 2 is about 20 seconds from being underway. So we're going to switch sides of the court. Omaha's going to be on my nearest side, and the Jackrabbits in pink are going to be on the far side. Impressive stat line for Schlimgen, Aaliyah Schlimgen, for the Jacks. She's the libero. She has 3 assists tonight as well as 6 digs. She's been running around the court. And Riley Martin, of course, 5 assists and 4 digs. Riley Martin, of course, the ultimate team player, the setter for the Jackrabbits. So it is Martin who's going to serve here for the Jacks as we wait for the line judges to get set. And set number 2 will get underway on Riley Martin's serve. Martin's serve is inbounds. Omaha sends a spike. It's Martin on the dig. The dig went all the way across into Jackrabbit territory. Excuse me, into Omaha territory. And Omaha sent it back fast. Schlimgen tried to bump that one up, flew out of bounds. So the first point's going to go to Omaha, 0-1, the score in set number 2. Omaha's serve. It's Erica Fava. The Jacks send it back over. And Omaha tries to spike. But who's in the way? It's Sylvie Zonks on the block. Jackrabbits score that point. It's 1-1 in set number 2. And it will be Sylvie Zonks on the serve. The serve here by Zonks. Jackrabbits. Martin sets up Sydney Shetnan, who tips it over. Omaha in trouble and not able to get it back across the net in 3 hits. So Sylvie Zonks again to serve. The Jackrabbits point. It's 2-1. They're up. Serve is good. Omaha. The Jackrabbits were all over the place there. Omaha just able to tip it over the net short and get the kill. It was Callie Jurgensmeyer with the kill there for Omaha. So 2-2. Kennedy Schecker with the serve for the Mavericks. Low across the net. Richardson able to dig it up, and this heat sent by Sylvie Zonks to the back line. A fast spike deep into Mavericks territory. A point and a kill from Sylvie Zonks. It's 3-2. Jackrabbits up by 1. Richardson on the serve. Dug up by the libero for the Mavericks and sent back over in a place where the Jackrabbits weren't. So a point for Omaha, 3-3. Jurgensmeyer back once again. Served by Jurgensmeyer, low across the net, tipped the net, but made it into Jackrabbit territory. The Jacks able to return it into Maverick territory. Tip called too close to call by the line judge. The point awarded to the Mavericks off of a tip. And Jurgensmeyer is going to serve. It's 4-3. Omaha up by 1. Jurgensmeyer serve again, low across the net. Set down by Madison Burr in the face of Kennedy Schecker. Not able to dig it off the floor. 4-4 is the score. Cameron Hahn, number 20, to serve for the Jacks. Serve is slow, but inbounds. Omaha able to return it to Jackrabbit territory, and Van Egdom sends it over in a tip. Omaha tries to get this one back under control, and again they can't in 3 hits. They did it in 4, and no good. That's the 3rd time they've had to use 4 hits, and they lost control of the ball. So it's 5-4. Jackrabbits up by 1. Hahn serve. Dug up by the Mavericks. Spiked down by Tarks. And Omaha will get the point. 5-5 the score. And Shayla McCormick back to serve for Omaha. Dug up. Hahn sets up Van Egdom, and she sends it too fast and too far out of bounds. 6-5 the score. Omaha is up. Jackrabbits have the first set. McCormick serve. Set up by Van Egdom. Gets it to Zonks, who's blocked up front by McKenna Rutch. Another point for Omaha. The score 5-7. Omaha up by 2. McCormick serving again. Hahn sets up. Number 12, Ventling Brown, but she gets blocked up front by Omaha once again. It's Amanda Hart on that block. Omaha takes a lead of 3. The score is 5-8. McCormick once again. This one low and slow to the front line. And a block now by the Jackrabbits. Burr and Van Igdam on the combination of a block. Another block by the Jackrabbits. The ball was on the Mavericks side for almost the entire volley. Ventling Brown with the block there, with some help from Madison Burr. Brown is 6'1", middle blocker. Omaha sends a spike and a block on the wrong side. So Burr got up there and the ball fell right to her side. And Omaha is going to get the point. So 6-9 is the score. Omaha up by 3. I believe it's Hart on the serve for Omaha. Richardson sends that one high, higher than the scoreboard. I couldn't see the ball. It was so far up in the rafters, but somehow the Jackrabbits get control of it and able to bump it back onto Omaha's side. And Omaha sends it straight back. Burr isn't ready for it. Her block sends the ball out of bounds. Another point for Omaha. They're up by 4. The score is 6-10. McKenna Rutsch was on the serve, and it's out of bounds this time. So a service error again by Rutsch. 7-10, the Jackrabbits down by 3 in this second set. Burr back to serve. The serve is good. Omaha digs it up. A block up front by Zonks keeps the ball in Omaha territory. The Jacks not able to maintain control. Burr set that one too far. It hit the top of the net on the far side and rolled out of bounds. So point for the Mavericks, 7-11. Mavericks on top. Ivy Luck on the serve. The serve ruled inbounds close to the line. The point stays for the Mavericks. The score is 7-12. The Jacks are down by 5. Timeout taken by the Jackrabbits. You're listening to Collegiate Sports. We'll be right back.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by locally owned Brookings Park West. Located in the University Mall at 820 22nd Avenue South, you can find everything your ride needs. From essential auto parts to top-notch accessories and customer service, ParkWest is a one-stop shop for Brookings. Their phone number is 692-6298. ParkWest is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Welcome back to Collegiate Sports. It's Jackrabbit Volleyball. Mavericks had the last point, and they serve over to the Jackrabbits. It's Zonks who sets it down on top of the block, flies out of bounds, and point for the Jackrabbits. Score moves 8-12. Riley Martin back once again to serve for the Jacks. Set number 2. Martin's serve is good to the back row. Hit up by McCormick. and sent out of bounds. So an ace for Riley Martin. I don't think that was an ace. It was announced as an ace. Definitely touched by the Mavericks. 9-12, the score. Shetnin up front, double block, sent it back twice towards the Mavericks. They had to recuperate, and they send it far out of bounds. So another point from the Jackrabbits on a run after this timeout. So it's 10-12. The Jackrabbits only down by 2 now. Martin on the serve, sends it towards the Jackrabbit logo. Sets up Shetnin, who lays it down. The Mavericks sent it over too low, too slow, right in front of Shetnin's face. She spikes it down. Point for the Jackrabbits, and now Omaha's getting scared. The Jackrabbits on a 4-point run. 11-12, they take a timeout. So I guess we'll be back once again in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Collegian Sports Network.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. Jackrabbit Volleyball here on Collegian Sports. I'm Ben Anderson. Braden Byers back in the studio. So Jackrabbits went on a 4-point run after their timeout, and Omaha took a timeout of their own. So the score is 11-12. The Jackrabbits only down by 1 in the second set. Martin still on the serve. Service error by Martin. She sent it too far. It bounced at the Summit League logo. So Omaha gets what they wanted after that timeout. 13-11, Omaha on top. Erica Fava back to serve for the Mavericks. Jackrabbits on the dig. Martin sets up Zonks. Zonks gets blocked on the tip. Martin to Zonks once again. She sends it down fast. I don't know how they dug that one up, but it flies out of bounds anyways, so it doesn't matter. Kennedy Schecker got down there onto the floor, diving to get the dig, but that gets sent inaccurately over to the Jackrabbit side, out of bounds. Point for the Jackrabbits. 12-13 is the score. Jacks down by 1. Sylvie Zonks to serve. Omaha on the dig, gets sent too close to the net. Shetnin's right there to tip it down towards the court. Point for the Jackrabbits makes it 13-all in the second set. Previously, when the Jackrabbits were down by 5 in this set. Now return to a tie game. Sylvie Zonks on the serve, dug up by Omaha, sent by Juergensmeyer to the Jackrabbit side. She tipped it over, and the Jacks send it right back. Omaha back on the offensive. They send it way too far out of bounds. The Jackrabbits back in the lead in the second set. They lead by 1, 14-13, the score. Sylvie Zonks to serve. Service error. She sent it too far. Ties up the game. 14-all. Schecker serves it to the Jackrabbits side. Spike attempted there by Groves, but gets dug up The Jackrabbits scrambling now. Martin able to get the dig, and they're just going to have to bump it over and give Omaha an opportunity to set something up. But Groves is there on the defense, blocks it on the near corner of the net. Point for the Jacks, 15-14. A lot of stuff happened during that set. The Jackrabbits were scrambling. Omaha was scrambling. Ends up being Jackrabbits win that point, 15-14. And now it's Jackrabbits serve. Jocelyn Richardson was with an excellent dig, but not able to capitalize. Gets sent to the near corner, out of bounds. Again, where I see it, Omaha is closest to me. On the far side of the court is the Jackrabbits. Julia Owens to serve for the Mavericks. Sends it Jocelyn Richardson's way, And the Mavericks get the point. The ball gets sent out of bounds by the Jackrabbits. So 15-16 is the score. Jacks are down by 1. Again, Julia Owens on the serve. Sends it towards Richardson. Richardson on the dig. Martin sets up Van Igdam. Van Igdam gets it over, but doesn't set it down. Richardson setting up Van Igdam once again. Tries to tip it over, and a net violation by the Jacks. So Mavericks get the point, 15-17. Jacks down by 2, and the Jackrabbits will take a timeout in the second set. So we'll be right back after 30 seconds. You're listening to Jackrabbit Volleyball on Collegian Sports.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by DO Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brooklyn, South Dakota, DO is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trap and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. DO is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio KSDJ 90.7.
Welcome back in to First Bank and Trust Arena, Jackrabbit Volleyball, here on Collegian Sports. So Jackrabbits take a timeout. They're down by 2 in the second set. They won the first set, so the game score sits at 1-0, and the set score sits at 15-17. Mavericks serve it. Jackrabbits able to set up Van Igdam, who spikes it towards the back line. Inbounds. Point for the Jackrabbits, kill for Van Igdam, and another assist for Riley Martin. The score, 16-17, Jackrabbits down by 1. Martin has 9 assists tonight, 7 digs. Hahn to serve for the Jacks. Mavericks all over it. Able just to set it over. Hahn's going to bump it to Schimling. And the Jackrabbits get it right back. And a set laid down by number 8, Madison Burr. Burr with the kill. Mavericks set it right over towards Burr. Able to spike it down. Get the point. Ties up the game, 17-7. 17-17. Interesting turn of events here for Omaha. McKenna Rutsch thought she was going to fake the spike near the net, but no one there to cover and actually do the real spike, so the ball just falls down to the court off of a set. So point for the Jackrabbits, miscommunication on Omaha. 18-17 is the score. Omaha spiking down to the libero, Aaliyah Schimling. and the Jacks send it right back over. It was Zonk. Omaha spikes it in the face of Ventling Brown, but her pain is not for nothing. Jackrabbits score the point, spike it back over off of, I'm going to call it a set by Ventling Brown. Hit her right in the face, able to pop it up and set up her teammate for the spike and the kill. Jackrabbits on top, 19-17. Omaha takes the timeout, and I guess we'll take another one as well. You're listening to Collegiate Sports. We'll be right back.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Welcome back to Jackrabbit Volleyball on Collegiate Sports. Hahn on the serve for the Jackrabbits. Rutsch sends it back over in a spike fashion towards the Jackrabbit side, able to get dug up. An excellent ball placement by Van Igdam to the back far corner, inbounds on the Omaha side. A point for the Jackrabbits. (20-17) is the score. Jacks up by 3. Hahn on the serve. Serve is out of bounds. A service error by Hahn gives Omaha the point and the ball back. The score, 20-18. McCormick back to serve for the Mavericks. She serves those really low, close to the net, but across the net. And the Jackrabbits don't have enough time to act. They send it out of bounds. A very precise serve by Shayla McCormick. Again, close to the top of the net by McCormick, but over to the Jackrabbit side. Van Igdam tried to spike it, and a block. A combination block there by Ivy Luck and McKenna Rutsch up front for the Mavericks. Tie up the set at 20-all. McCormick once again. Van Igdam on the dig. Vantling Brown tips it over, and the Mavericks aren't ready for it. Hits the ground, point for the Jackrabbits. 21-20 is the score. Rachel Weber back to serve for the Jacks. Weber serve right to McCormick. Omaha able to send it back over to the Jacks side, but Burr able to bump it back to the Mavericks. And a block up front. It's Sylvie, Zonks, and Madison Burr on the combination block up front. Point for the Jackrabbits, 22-20 is the score. And Rachel Weber once again to serve. There's no timeouts left for either team in this set. Weber serve away, out of bounds on the right sideline. Service error again 22-21 is the score. The Jacks up by 1 in the second set. McKenna Rutsch to serve. Service error right into the net. Point for the Jacks, 23-21 to score in the second set. Jackrabbits playing without a libero on this point. Substituting some players in. Madison Burr on the serve. Omaha digs it up, sets it over the net. Zonks digs it to Sydney Shetland, who sets it down, but the Mavericks all over it. Back on the Jackrabbit side, and now it's Zonks who gets a turn to spike it. She hits the blocker's hands off into the stands for the point. Jackrabbits. Now it's set point in set number 2. 24-21 the score. Madison Burr back to serve for the Jacks. Serve is good. Dug up by McCormick. And a block up front by Vantling Brown. And Sydney Shetland sets it down on the Maverick side. The Jacks win the second set. (25-21), the second set comes to a close. The Jackrabbits up 2-0 in sets this match. 4 minutes goes up onto the video board. An intermission between sets. We'll be right back. You're listening to Collegian Sports.
Support comes from the South Dakota Agricultural Heritage Museum in Brookings, inspiring a passion for the diverse history, culture, and science of agriculture in South Dakota. To learn more about exhibits and events, you can visit agmuseum.com.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no, 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 no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that catch-up.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by locally owned Brookings PowerQuest. Located in the University Mall at 820 22nd Avenue South, you can find everything your ride needs. From essential auto parts to top-notch accessories and customer service, PowerQuest is a one-stop shop for Brookings. Their phone number is 692-6298. PowerQuest is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
about a minute left until we start set number 3, so let's take a look at some match stats. Jackrabbits are up 2-0 in sets here. We'll take a look at some top performers from Omaha. Callie Juergensmeyer has 7 kills for Omaha. She has 17 total attacks. Her hitting percentage is .353. 2 digs as well. McKenna Rutsch has been out there a lot. She has 7 kills on 14 total attacks, 2 errors for her, and 4 blocks up front. Amanda Hart, she has 3 kills on 14 total attacks and 6 errors. Not the best night for Amanda Hart. 1 block up front. Someone who's performing pretty well, just flowing around the court, is Shayla McCormick. She has 5 total digs out there tonight, 3 kills. For the Jacks, it's been all Sylvie Zonk. She has 9 kills on 16 total attacks, 2 digs, 3 blocks up front. Van Igdam, 6 kills as well on 17 total attacks. Riley Martin, she has 10 assists tonight, 1 service ace, and 7 digs. Blocking up front, as always, Sydney Shetnin, 4 blocks, 1 dig, 1 assist. 4 kills as well on 8 total attacks, 500 hitting percentage. All right, set number 3 about to get underway. The Mavericks have the serve. Number 26, Ivy Luck. Back to serve. Zonks on the dig, gets it to Shetnin, who lays it down. Mavericks all over it, send it back, it's Shetnin on the block. Mavericks still trying to put something together, and they can't in 3 hits. It flies out of bounds. Point for the Jacks, first point of this 3rd set. Again, switching sides, so the Jackrabbits now on the near side of the court to me, Mavericks on the far side. Riley Martin back once again to serve. Martin's serve was close to the line, but going to be played by the Mavericks. They somehow are able to bump it over. Schlimgin able to set up Alyssa Groves, who spikes it down on the Omaha side. Jackrabbits up 2-0. Martin to serve. Serve is inbounds. Dug up by Omaha. Attempted block up front, off the hands on the Jackrabbit side. Aaliyah Schlimgin dove for it, but not able to get on it. So, point for Omaha, 1, the score in the 3rd set. Eric Fava, back to serve. He's all the way from Italy. The serve hit the net, barely hit over, and the weren't expecting that. Sydney Shettin dove for it, but not able to get there in time. 2-all in the 3rd set. Again, Fava to serve. Richardson digs it up. Martin sets up Shettin, who spikes it over. Dug up by Omaha, and Omaha sends it out of bounds, but not before it hit the hands of Alyssa Groves. So point for Omaha. They take a lead of 1. The score 2-3. Again, Erica Fava. Serve is to Van Igdam. Set up by Zonks to Shettin, who tips it over, and it hits the floor. Point for the Jacks, ties it up at 3. Sylvie Zonks on the serve for the Jacks. Serve might have been long, but it's going to be played by Omaha. They send it back long and out of bounds. Point for the Jacks. They thought they won the point, but clearly out of bounds. 4-3 the score. And there's going to be a challenge by Omaha. Mavericks, as you heard, they're challenging that it was touched up front by the Jackrabbits. So they're going to take a look at this. We'll be back on 30 seconds. You're listening to Collegian Sports.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by D.O. Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brooklyn, South Dakota, D.O. is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trek and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. D.O. is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio KSDJ 90.7.
Welcome back in here to First Bank and Trust Arena. Challenge still being reviewed, and it looks really close. Shetton's hands were very close to the ball on the block, as well as Groves. Both players could have had a finger on it. It's really dependent on the camera angle you look at. The refs are still reviewing this one. The score is 4-3. Jacks are up by 1, but if this call gets reversed, Omaha would be up by 1. It's hot in here in First Bank and Trust Arena. They must not have the air conditioning on. People are fanning themselves everywhere. It's got to be like 80 degrees in here. Someone forgot to install the air conditioning unit when they built this place, man. Anyways, an interesting stat here from the Jacks. They only have 9 attack errors compared to Omaha, who have 14 attack errors. A combined hitting percentage for Omaha is 149. The Jacks have it of .317. So the Jacks being a little bit more efficient with their attacks. Omaha's been scrambling throughout this game to set things up, and multiple times requiring 4 hits to send the ball back over to the Jackrabbit side. So the Jacks playing a little bit cleaner of a game, and it shows. The Jacks up 2-0 in sets. Reminder, both these teams undefeated in conference play. 3-0 for both. So the call's going to stand. No touch by the Jacks. Point for the Jacks as well. So 4-3 remains the score. Jacks up by 1. And Sylvie Zonks back to serve. Serve is away, close to the top of the net, but over. Omaha sends it back to Aliyah Shimgen. Jacks send it back over to Omaha territory. They go on the attack, spiking it down. Zonks on the set. Riley Martin sets up Van Igdam. Van Igdam gets blocked at the net. Riley Martin with the set once again. This one goes towards Groves. Groves gets blocked, and it's on the ground. Jackrabbits diving everywhere, but the ball falls to the wood. Point for Omaha. 4-all in the third set. Kennedy Shecker is going to be back to serve for Omaha. Richardson bumps to Martin, who sets it up for Groves. Omaha goes on the attack. Martin able to dig that one up. And it's Van Igdam who spikes this one over. And the Mavericks are all over it. Martin again to bump it up to Van Igdam. Van Igdam on the block, but tipped out of bounds by the blockers. Point for the Jacks. 5-4 is the score. Richardson back to serve for the Jacks. Martin on the assist once again. She's up to 11-9. And Richardson is going to get an ace. Omaha couldn't handle it. They got a little confused there. 3 players hit it, but they all hit it down towards the floor, and it ends up on the floor. Point for Richardson and the Jackrabbits. 6-4. Richardson on the serve once again. Omaha sends it fast. Martin can't get in the way of it, and the ball falls to the floor. Point for Omaha. 6-5 the score. Jacks are up by 1. Callie Jurgensmeyer back to serve. Zonk sends that one off, her forearms wild into the crowd. Ace for Callie Jurgensmeyer, 6-all. Jurgensmeyer once again sends it over. Zonks on the bump, sets up Burr. Martin sets it up for Groves, who just tips it over. And a kill by McKenna Rush and the Mavericks. Spiked it to the back far corner. Omaha up by 1, score 6-7. Jurgensmeyer once again. Service error by the Mavericks, 7-all. One flew out of bounds on the right sideline as I see it. Number 20, Cameron Hahn, back to serve for the Jacks. Serve inbounds, Omaha with the dig. A spike from the back row by Sylvie Zonks. Tip blocked by Madison Burr and Annalie Ventling-Brown on the combination block there. Point for the Jacks, 8-7. Hahn once again to serve. Hahn serve towards the middle of the court. Omaha sends a spike. And Aaliyah Schlemgen not able to get under it on the dive. Ties up the set at 8-all. Shayla McCormick to serve for Omaha. Van Igdam bumps to Hahn, who sets up Van Igdam. Van Igdam on the tip. Omaha scrambling. Backwards bump. Gets it over the net on the third hit. And a kill by the Jacks. Hahn able to get the kill there. Just tipped it over the net, and the Omaha Mavericks were not ready for that one. Point Jacks, 9-8 the score. Number 2, Rachel Weber back to serve. Weber serve towards center court. Jacks now trying to put something together. Spike by Zonks is blocked. Who can get taller near the net? Her name, number 12, Annalie Ventling-Brown. It was a block fest up near the net. Both teams in the area. Ventling-Brown able to get the kill. So the Jacks maintain possession, 10-8 the score. Rachel Weber back to serve. Annalie Ventling-Brown on that last kill. Again, middle blocker. She's 6'1". She's a senior, Lincoln, Nebraska. Weber serve into Omaha territory. They send a spike out of bounds. Point for the Jacks. 11-8 the score. close to being inbounds, still ruled out. Weber on the serve once again. Omaha sets up a spike by Rutsch, and it's going to be effective as Ventling Brown bumped that one to her right, and no one was to her right except the out-of-bounds line and the scorer's table, and that's where the ball ends up, right in the lap of the scorer's table, and a point for Omaha. 11-9, the score. Jacks up by 2. McKenna Rutsch on the serve for the Mavericks. Richardson sets up Madison Burr, who lays down the hammer. That one got sent fast. No one's able to react quick enough. Point for the Jacks. Madison Burr back to serve. 12-9 the score. Burr, servicer right to the net. Point for the Mavericks. 12-10 the score. Ivy Luke to serve. Weber on the dig. Zonks on the spike. Inbounds to the back corner. Point for the Jacks. 13-10 the score. Jacks up by 3 in the third set. It's Riley Martin back in for the Jacks to serve. Martin serve to the center court, and the Mavericks able to put it in a good spot on the court. Rachel Weber not able to get into position quick enough. Point for the Mavericks. 13-11. Jacks up by 2. Number 14, Erica Fava, back to serve for Omaha. Serve to Weber. Weber sets up Zonks. Zonks spikes it over. Omaha on the dig. Martin sets up Zonks again. She sends a spike out of bounds. Point for Omaha. 13-12 the score. Jacks up by 1. The Jackrabbits are going to challenge. I'm going to assume challenging a touch by the middle blockers up front. So the Jacks are challenging that there was a net violation by the Mavericks. And from what I can see, it gets very close up front. Erica Fava, I believe that is, or Emily Huss, one of the two for the Mavericks, tipped her hands over the net after the spike by Zonks, which still went out of bounds, but if this is ruled as a net violation, it would be a point for the Jacks regardless. It was ruled as a point for Omaha. Now, the net does shift a little bit on the replay. We'll see. It's very small difference. It's very close. Could be ruled either way, really, in my opinion. Still a good challenge. The replay from where I can see it is inconclusive. But the net definitely does move when the blockers come in for Omaha. I believe that is Emily Huss up front. And the call is reversed. Point for the Jacks. There was a net violation. Then the score shifts 14-11, and Sylvie Zonks is back to serve. Jackrabbits sub in Van Ingham. Zonk serve away. And an ace. Omaha not able to dig it up. 15-11. The score, Zonks once again. Dug up by Omaha. McCormick sends a spike over. Zonk's able to dig it up. Sets up Groves, who tries to spike it over. Gets blocked. Van Igdam now trying to spike it. And Omaha, again in the wrong positions. Loses control of the ball. Sends it out of bounds. 16-11. Jackrabbits on top by 5. And a timeout is going to be called by the Mavericks. So, we'll be back right here in 30 seconds. You're listening to Collegian Sports.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Welcome back in here to First Bank and Trust Arena, Jackrabbit Volleyball on Collegian Sports. Jackrabbits are up in the third set, 2-0, and up in points as well, 16-11. And the Jackrabbits have possession. Sylvie Zonk to serve. The serve, dug up by Omaha, sent back quick by Juergensmeyer, and hits the block from the Jackrabbits and gets sent out of bounds. So point for Omaha. Kennedy Shecker to serve for Omaha. Serve right to Zonks. Gets it to Martin, who sets up Groves. Groves tips it over the net. And a block up front by Sydney Shetnin. Sydney Shetnin says no up front with the block. Sydney Shetnin using all 6'5" of those height inches to get the block there. And there you go. Another ace, Jocelyn Richardson for the Jackrabbits. 18-12 is the score in the third set, and Omaha is going to take another timeout. They're going to burn both of them. So that, you know what that means. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Jackrabbit Volleyball on Collegian Sports.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back in to Jackrabbit Volleyball here on Collegiate Sports. I'm Ben Anderson. Braden Byers back in the studio. Richardson is serving for the Jackrabbits. She just got a service ace. It's been 3 aces this set for the Jacks. Jocelyn Richardson has 3 of them this game. Jackrabbits total 6 service aces. Richardson serve to Sarah Galligan. Attempted block up front by the Jackrabbits. Martin sets up Madison Burr, who spikes it down. Omaha able to recover. Richardson bumps it up for Van Igdam, who tries to tip. No good. Denied. Van Igdam tries to spike it now and blocked again. Van Igdam got denied twice here on the left side of the net by the middle blockers on Omaha. Combined block there by McKenna Rutsch and Shayla McCormick. Jacks lose that point, but they're still up by 5, 18-13. Julia Owens back to serve for the Mavericks. Van Igdam bumps it to Riley Martin, who sets up Van Igdam once again, tips it over the net. And the Omaha Mavericks, are able to spike it, but they're once again on the attack. Tip it over, Burr on the block. They spike it over, Burr gets a hand on it. Richardson able to bump it up, and Zonks tries to spike it, but meets the net. Falls on the Jackrabbit side. Point for the Mavericks. 18-14 the score. Jacks up by 4 in the third set. Julia Owens on the serve. Richardson bumps to Martin, who gets it to Burr, who spikes it to the back row. Able to be dug up by the Mavericks. Up front, a block by Burr and Groves. Burr sets it back over the net to the back row. Omaha once again on the attack. Burr with a block again. Going to be called with a net violation. Point for Omaha. Definitely a violation up front by the Jackrabbits. 18-15 the score. Jacks up by 3, lead dwindling. Zonks able to dig that one up. A spike sent by Burr. Dug up somehow by Omaha. Richardson spikes or sets to Martin, who sets to Van Igdam. Van Igdam not able to make it over the net. And another point for the Mavericks. Now the Jacks only lead by 2. The score 18-16, and the Jacks are going to take a timeout. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Jackrabbit Volleyball right here on Collegiate Sports.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Jackrabbit Volleyball here on the Jacks in a little bit of a trouble here. The Omaha Mavericks went on a little bit of a run. The Jacks only lead by 2 now. It's 18-16. Omaha in possession of the serve. Julia Owens is back to serve. Jacks are trying to end this one in a sweep. Richardson on the bump to Martin, who sets up Groves, tips it over the block, down to the court. A kill by Alyssa Groves. Point for the Jacks, 19-16. This score, Omaha up by 3. Excuse me, the Jacks are up by 3. Omaha down. Omaha is out of timeouts as well. Cameron Hahn back to serve. On serve away, bumped by Sarah Galligan. Galligan gets it to McCormick. McCormick blocked up front by Madison Burr. Point for the Jacks. 20-16, the score. Jacks up by 4. Need 5 more to put it away. Cameron Hahn is going to be back once again to serve for the Jacks. Serve excellently placed. Kennedy Schecker tried to get there and bump it. It hits awkwardly off her forearms, drops to the ground. An ace for Cameron Hahn. Hahn's serve. Somehow, Shimgen got there and able to dig it up, but Omaha on the attack spikes it down, and they get the point. So 21-17. I don't know how Schlimgen got there, able to dive and dig it up, but Omaha quick to respond, spikes it down in Jackrabbit territory, point for them. Van Igdam tips it across the block. Omaha able to somehow recover. Zonks bumps to Hahn, who sets up Burr. Burr once again with the hammer. Sends it down in Omaha territory. Point for the Jackrabbits. 22-17. Jacks up by 5. Need 3 more to end it in a sweep. Rachel Weber back to serve. Weber serve to the back row. They tip it. Schlimgen gets there again somehow. Omaha back on the attack. Blocked up front, but Schlimgen sets up Hahn, who gets it to Zonk, spiking into Omaha territory. Omaha tries to get something going. Off the fingers of Annalie Ventling-Brown, flies out of bounds. Point for the Mavericks. An excellent point for the Jackrabbits, excellent volley, for the Jacks. Very well put together. Omaha was scrambling the entire time, but they couldn't end up with a point there. Hahn sets up Ventling-Brown, blocked up front, but on the Omaha side. Omaha sets up a spike. Jocelyn Richardson able to dig it. And Zonk sends one back their way. Omaha scrambling now, gets the ball back. Richardson with an excellent dig. And it's tried to get tipped over by Burr, but she can't get it through the blockers on the Omaha side. Falls down in Jackrabbit territory. 22-19. Point for Omaha. Jacks up by 3, need 3 to win it. McKenna Rutsch back to serve. Burr once again. Burr, I don't even know how many times she's done it, but she's done it a lot. Another excellent spike by Madison Burr. Gets the Jackrabbit point. 23-19, Jacks up. Burr on the serve. Burr's serve towards the back row, picked up by Libero for the Mavericks. Mavericks send it back quickly off the forearms of Burr. She was in the right place, but couldn't maintain control of the ball. That one came in fast, ends up in the crowd, out of bounds. Point for Omaha. Jackrabbits still up. It's 23-20. Ivy Luck back to serve for the Mavericks. The serve is out of bounds. I can't believe it. Omaha has shot themselves in the foot in the third set. It's match point for the Jackrabbits. Riley Meyer on the serve. The score is 24-20 in the third set. Meyer dug up by Omaha. Omaha sends a spike. Shimling able to dig it, but sends it wonky, crooked, out of bounds. Point for Omaha. 24-21 the score. Jacks up by 3. It's still match point. Erica Fava to serve for Omaha. Serve into the net, service error, ends the game. Fava sent it too low, right into the net. And again, Omaha shoots themselves in the foot. They can't put anything together. The Jackrabbits sweep it, and they're still undefeated. 15-0 for the Jackrabbits, 4-0 in the conference. The Jackrabbits win the third set, 25-21, and sweep the Omaha Mavericks. The Jackrabbits able to keep their cool, played a cleaner game than Omaha. Omaha had a lot of mistakes and a lot of things they need to work out, and it shows. Their record overall now sits at 5-10. They were undefeated in conference play, but not anymore. The Jackrabbits make their record 3-1 in conference play, and again, 5-10 overall. And the Jackrabbits sit at 15-0, 4-0 in conference play. Stick around. I've been Ben Anderson here inside of First Bank and Trust Arena, but stay tuned. Braden Byers will be back with the post-game report here on Collegiate Sports. So don't go anywhere. I've been Ben Anderson from inside First Bank and Trust Arena for Jacks Volleyball on Collegiate Sports. You have a wonderful night.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by locally owned Brookings PowerQuest. Located in the University Mall at 820 22nd Avenue South, you can find everything your ride needs. From essential auto parts to top-notch accessories and customer service, PowerQuest is a one-stop shop for Brookings. Their phone number is 692-6298. PowerQuest is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Get hurt in a game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that catch-up.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners. Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by DO Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brooklyn, South Dakota, DO is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trek and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. DO is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio KSDJ 90.7.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just